And we are. Hey, hello.
Hello. How would I know? You should know.
Yeah, we are live. Hello. Welcome everyone to Couch Pundits Sports Formula One stream post race discussion Spanish GP. और आज मेरे साथ हैं अर्श हो। कैसा है भाई?
बढ़िया भाई, तू बता।
मस्त है यार, काफी टाइम के बाद मिले।
यस सर। अरे ये तो डबल स्ट्रीम होगा ना अब। मोनाको भी है ये हफ्ते तो।
हम्म मतलब रेस नहीं है ये हफ्ते, खाली मोनाको में वो
सिर्फ
लोग पार्टी
मोनाको
करने
है।
जा रहे हैं
करेक्ट, रेस
और
नहीं।
क्वालिफाइंग के बेसिस पे जाएंगे आगे।
Dude, honestly, I was also thinking the same thing with Barcelona, but
हम्म
Barcelona gave us some great racing, surprisingly.
Barcelona gave me something that I have been missing for a while, and that is a more competitive third car on the racetrack.
Oh, bro, it's so satisfying to see three teams compete at the front now.
It's not going to be easy because the points are going to be divided. So a 26 point that Red Bull holds right now, a
Currently,
26-point lead in the Constructors' Championship
is not
is
enough.
is not enough, because at any point you could have a Ferrari 1-2 and
But the
you
way
know
Ferrari has been performing in the last 2-3 races,
hmm.
you never know. I think Ferrari ने अपना Red Bull का power train ले लिया है reliability के
No, no,
लिए.
no, no. वो सब टेक्निकल चीजें है. Welcome to people who are watching, like the stream and all that. Welcome to our regulars. This that there are no reliability issues as far as the Ferrari car is concerned, is what they are saying.
Is what
Obviously,
they are saying. Okay.
they're like, वो power unit has performed as expected, but this was some MGH का कुछ
MGUK.
MGUK का प्रॉब्लम था. इट वाज नॉट अ पावर यूनिट फेलियर, उसमें कुछ पानी वानी निकल रहा था, ऐसा कुछ हो रहा था.
MGUK. Yeah, there was a leakage in the MGUK that led
Exactly.
to cooling issues, that led to power unit issues, and then ultimately, no. This is so not right.
This is so not right once again.
Dude, सच में बताओ वो टाइम पे ना क्या हो रहा था. मैं इतना बोर हो गया था रेस के. सो मैं काम से नहीं, शूज से वापस आया. 12 बजे से लेकर लिटरली 5 बजे तक शूज थे मेरे.
हाँ.
तो बैक टू बैक आई वाज रियली टायर्ड. आया घर पे आई थिंक 6:15. रेस
हम्म.
स्टार्ट किया 6:30 को. मैं पूरा फर्स्ट लैप देखा, के मैक का कोलिजन देखा. which we'll get to which we'll get
हैमिल्टन
to
जीतता था अगर केमैग ने उसको ऐसा पंक्चर नहीं किया होता ना, हैमिल्टन जीत जाता ये
bro.
रेस.
He performed like a beast, Hamilton.
या हाँ, तू बोल रहा था
हाँ
फिर
तो
सैड हो गया तू
ब्रो, नहीं
चार्ली आउट
नहीं
हुआ तो.
चार्ली, आई एम अ McLaren supporter. I stay sad every weekend. I'm used to it.
हाँ.
But मैं देख रहा था एंड मेरी आंखें लाइक जस्ट शटिंग एंड आई वाज लाइक अरे बोरिंग रेस है यार. लिख लेगा 20 सेकंड लीड है रसल के साथ. वर्स्टैपेन का कोई फाइट ही नहीं है और DRS भी नहीं चल रहा था उस टाइम पे. तो आई वाज माय आईज वर लिटरली शटिंग एंड like my eyes were shut and then suddenly I heard no. मेरी आंख कैसे खुली. I just sprung up on the sofa. मैं ऐसे बैठा हूँ एंड पूरे रेस में ऐसे देखा. I was like fuck bro, ये तो स्पेन है, स्पेन में कुछ भी हो सकता है अब.
Yeah. As Siddharth Ganesh is pointing out, बहुत गर्मी था. I don't know if he means
बॉम्बे में
बार्सिलोना
कि
में या बॉम्बे में.
बार्सिलोना. No, but
Best driver that day, in my
Barcelona.
opinion, was George. Yeah, because you hate Hamilton, no? Because you're a biased person. This is
Honestly,
just how.
I feel two of my top two drivers for that weekend were Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, the
Bro,
old guys.
beasts.
The old
P20 to
guys.
P9 on the grid and then P20 to P4, P5. Bro, क्या मजेदार रेसिंग. क्या
Insane
मजेदार
racing.
रेसिंग.
Definitely. And we'll get into the details of all of it.
But talking about
हाँ.
Siddharth's point, bro, 41 degrees was the temperature.
तो ये सब बस ग्रेटा थनबर्ग की वजह से हो रहा है.
Bro,
If you have not been keeping up with world news and politics,
today's World Environment Day, by the way.
yeah, today's World Environment, is it? I thought 5th. Oh, that's Earth Day.
Earth Day.
The reason that fuel prices are high in Sri Lanka is because Lewis Hamilton went to Greta Thunberg, and you know the rest.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, basically he petitioned for Formula One to continue, and she said environment.
And then he said no, मैं jewelry
And
पहनेगा.
huh?
He said no, मैं jewelry पहनेगा to protest.
And then she's like, I don't know where you guys are going with this. So let's just, it's on the 5th of June, Siddharth Dinesh is saying.
ब्रो अर्थ डे था ये. अच्छा सॉरी, मेरे कंपनी में बोला था तो हमें एक पोस्ट बनाना था एनवायरनमेंट डे पे कॉपी राइटिंग में, तो मैंने बना लिया ब्रो. मुझे लगा आज है.
Maybe chat can let us know. Not somebody who is not a natural historian can tell us when is World Environment Day, and we'll take your word for it. In other news, after the race, what happened was the Premier League was decided.
Yeah,
and it was quite the final day. If
it
you guys
was.
didn't watch it, you have missed out on something that happens probably once in like 10 years, 20 years.
I think the last time
आ जाएगा
something like
वापस,
this
ऐसा कुछ
happened
नहीं.
was ironically when City only won, with United playing
Let's not talk
against.
about that thing that never happened. Okay, Arsh.
No, Aguero.
Yeah, we don't talk about that, Arsh. What is your
2012,
problem? What is your
2010.
deal, man?
2010.
That never happened.
Acha.
That didn't happen. What are you saying?
With United losing.
India did not play of semi-finals in the 2019 World Cup, and Aguero never scored that goal where QPR literally handed the ball back to them. But it was quite a remarkable Sunday for sport.
Siddhartha Ganesh is saying on the chat that Earth Day was 22nd April. Bro, we're just happy we remember Formula 1 race days right now.
Indeed. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about qualifying to the final race.
Sorry, forget that. Let's start with FP1. FP1 we saw some debutants, bro.
मैं भूल गया क्या हुआ रेस में. You said forget that.
I said nice, bro. Thanks.
As you can see, the quality of jokes only keeps going up as.
तू कॉमेडी क्यों नहीं करता? आकाश को बोल ना.
इसीलिए नहीं करता.
आकाश को बोल ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ ऑस्ट्रेलिया को like he'll take you along.
Yeah.
My opening act. Dhaval Shethia.
Absolutely. I have opened for Akash. What are you saying?
Acha. I mean jokes and the stage.
Yeah.
Okay. I have opened for Akash. Okay. But moving on to FP1. FP1 mein we saw 3 debutants. We saw Nick DeVry, and we saw the most junior program in Alfa Romeo, Robert Kubica.
What does he have on these guys?
Bro, वो legend था यार. He won races with one hand. उसका जो crash के बाद वो comeback किया ना BMW के साथ, मस्त था.
I'm telling you, he has some videotapes of some people regularly. The same thing that the Marsh brothers have on the Australian selectors.
But he's driving for the WEC team, no? In the LMP class. तो वो Prema Orlin racing team के लिए along with Luis de Latraz and कौन है तीसरा? Luis de Latraz, Robert Kubica, and I'm forgetting the name. Juan Manuel Correa.
Yeah, that guy.
The 3 of them are driving for Prema Orlin WEC. So, and Alfa Romeo Orlin are also this like more or less the same team. They're under the same management.
That's great and all. But we're here to talk about Spanish GP.
But yeah, that's why I'm saying. And also F1 came with a new rule this year, no? That your young drivers have to run at least 2 practice sessions throughout the season.
Yes, and also for those who do not know, substitutions for a race can only happen if your substitute driver has either driven in FP123 or qualifying. Qualifying में तो नहीं देंगे, but FP123 में दे सकते हैं, so that in case something happens to one of your drivers, your reserve driver can drive your car during the race.
तो इसलिए उनको एक सेशन तो दे रहे हैं like reserve driver को.
Exactly.
I mean Nico Hülkenberg को 2 weekend दिया bro.
But yeah, let's talk about the weekend. Let's not digress. I felt Red Bull were definitely sandbagging in FP1 because they were just like क्या है ये है वो है. FP3 में they were like 5 kilometers faster than the next fastest car. And we saw what they did in qualifying.
Qualifying में तो yeah, I think
qualifying was interesting.
Very interesting to watch.
It was amazing for in Q3 for Leclerc to literally just do it in 1 lap. Like he got that lap before, but he spun.
He spun
and he spun
Ferrari
second
turn 13, or right left hand.
Turn 12 or 13 pe he spun out. And he immediately went into the pits and he got 1 out lap and 1 qualifying lap.
Flying lap.
He took pole with just one lap. And that was crazy, man. That was absolutely crazy. Verstappen, on the other hand, got provisional pole, but he could not get a second lap in because of issues with his car.
He had to abort.
He had to abort, and he was quite upset. He was quite upset with his team throughout, and you could hear that on the radio when his DRS flaps were not
Bro,
working.
that's why I think Checo just been like, bro, tu bahut ro raha hai, tu ja rahe aage.
And there was Checo Perez,
who was a beast, who overtook Russell and deserved to keep P1 because he's the one that made the effort. Understandably, that Verstappen didn't have DRS. I will give that in his favor. I will look at it from his perspective.
But Verstappen was the one who spun out.
But Verstappen was the one that, no, but also tailwind. Chal, theek hai.
But that's like, what the hell, man? Your car spun, तो मैं तेरे को क्यों आगे जाने दूं? Tailwind हो या gust of wind हो या तेरा
I'm giving him all the benefit. I'm giving Verstappen all the benefit of the doubt. Just to make my point, I'm giving Verstappen all the benefit of the doubt. ठीक है, tailwind था, तू spin किया. You made a comeback from P8, P9 or P11. I think he was at the end of that this thing to come up to P2, P3. Your strategy worked. Your DRS was not open, giving you all of that. But even when your DRS was open, you were not able to overtake Russell. The one time you overtook Russell, he took the position back within one corner. And Checo, on the other hand, he used all of that, and within 2 laps or 3 laps, I think, he overtook Russell and kept the position.
That's true. Even he could not overtake him in the beginning, but eventually he did when Verstappen's DRS could not open.
Shrishti's like, hello, lol, we need to talk, guys. Yes, Shrishti.
क्या हो गया तूने उसको मारा?
अरे नहीं रे ब्रो, चेको का बोला ना. अच्छा. चेको ने रेडियो पे बोला ना, we need to talk. तू सीधा मेरे पे ब्लेम करता है. It's not like you've done anything. बोला था like अर्श ने कुछ दिया क्या होगा.
Yeah, Checo's original strategy was a one-stopper to hold Russell. That is true.
Oh, blimey.
One-stopper?
Yeah. So
he was on a one-stopper, yeah.
He was on a one-stopper. Russell's engineer also got on to the radio and said, guys, Checo's on a one-stopper. And Russell was the most British guy at that time and said, oh, blimey. You can't get more British than that.
Yeah.
Then Max spun and then Red Bull switched all the strategies to give Max.
Which is what they do. Which is what Red Bull does. Red Bull takes care of their star child. Everybody else just takes a back seat. And hence we saw Daniel Ricciardo leave the team. And soon we will see Checo Perez also leave the team. If this trend continues. Because...
and there are many teams that will be willing to sign Checo like this. But to be fair, Checo wouldn't have been able to keep P1 from Max because of tire. Bhai, fight to karne de. Tu fight hi nahi karne de raha hai.
Karo ladai. See, right now, Checo and Max could either, like, if Max didn't get that and Checo gets this win, gets another win, he might as well be fighting for the championship at that point. And it's too early in the season to be giving Max such advantages, even though he is your championship contender.
Had he been there, he would have been like probably just 10-12 points away from Max. So I don't know what his standing is right now.
He's fourth.
Are standing to the points difference? He's third. Third. Verstappen is on 110 and he's on 85.
Yeah.
That gap would have been like, I think 91 or something. Like it would have been 7 points.
7 points lesser, and this guy would have been 7 points more. So 98 to...
No. 102 to 92. 10-point gap hota.
Yeah.
10-point gap hota, and that would have been an easy shot at the. And anyway, Verstappen would take the lead even if he had this thing. Yeah. No, he wouldn't. He would be 2-point short, but still.
Yeah.
You would have 104 Leclerc. You would have 102 Verstappen. You would have 92 Checo. All three of them up for the championship. You can't take a decision so early.
Points? For Max is clearly the number one driver. Yes.
Agreed.
But you remember what Bottas was doing 4 or 5 years ago when he was challenging Lewis for the championship.
Yeah.
And they were doing it properly. They were like, okay, we have this. This guy is equally good. And let's go for it. Let's keep it. Let's not be like, greedy like Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen. Let's not be foolish like them.
I
crashing
think
into each other and all that.
I think they didn't want to. Look, I understand if you want to not take that risk at a circuit like A, Monaco, or B, Baku, that are crash prone circuits, that you know that if you're going for a risky overtake, you're going to have two DNFs right there because there's no space in such circuits. But in a circuit like Spain, which the only difficult part about overtaking are the slower corners, you can fight for it. You've got two DRS zones that open up beautifully into turn, like right before turn 10 and right down the pit straight. You've got two DRS zones that open beautifully. You've got some great parabolas towards on turn 10 and turn 1 and 2 and turn 3 and 4. But you've got about 4 to 5 turns where you can do for overtakes. Okay, understandable. The last chicane is really difficult. But Bottas pulled off an overtake over Sainz in turn 12, which you will not see.
That's true.
So
Bottas on
why?
Sainz or Sainz on Bottas?
Sainz on Bottas. No, Bottas was around the outside. So if I'm not sure if he was on Sainz or if he was someone else, but it was around the outside for Bottas.
Okay.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Why? There's no point in saying that. And also, okay, understandable if you're like on the 17th or 16th. So 6th race pe hai, bro. Chill kar. I agree. Look what this guy said in the chat. I agree with that, but because of climate change, quite literally, non-street tracks are heating up in crosswind. Headwind directions are changing constantly. Agreed. Same thing out here. It was the same thing out here.
What is? Can you repeat that?
Siddhartha message, but I agree with that. But because of climate change, quite literally, non-street tracks are heating up in crosswind. Headwind directions are changing constantly. There's a whole new challenge racing on larger tracks nowadays. Agreed, but Baba, now with lesser downforce, with more downforce and lesser dirty air and stuff, you can very easily challenge for the car in front of you. I mean, at Circuit de Catalunya, you have not seen so many overtakes. We saw some 12 overtakes this race. And Barcelona is somewhat like a boring circuit.
A whole new challenge racing on larger tracks. Somebody saying Shreya Agarwal is saying Max was already so agitated because of failing DRS, so maybe at no risk seen at RCB. Risk what? Upsetting the guy? He's an adult. You know, Max Baba hai, but he's an adult. वो समझ जाएगा. I understand.
Correct. And if he can't, he should not be a racing driver.
क्या बोलने का अभी dude? क्या बोलने का?
देख भाई, that is a very sensitive topic, so उस पे थोड़ा बाद में discuss करते हैं. We'll get to other teams right now. चल ठीक है, we did with the Max one.
You'll have to keep Checo's previous performances in mind too. You mean where he's got 91 points and he is P3 in Drivers' Championship? Those previous performances?
Where he had a 1-2 again this season?
Best driver है वो team के लिए ये time. Like he's the best second driver right now. Yeah, I know. I am calling him a second driver because that is what Red Bull have turned him into.
He's probably the best teammate on the grid right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Hamilton or Russell any of them would do that for any of them.
Russell तो अभी नहीं करेगा. He is out qualifying Hamilton and he's got so many more points than Hamilton right now. It's not gonna happen, dude.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. Russell is not the Valtteri, it's James kind of person. That's not happening to him. He's not going to give it up. And let's talk about George Russell for a second here. Finishing please. P5 or above in every single race this season. Every single race this season.
That guy is insane. He's been...
क्या गाड़ी चला रहा है वो? Hamilton has been complaining कि okay, let's analyze this from a slightly more macro perspective, which is everyone's like Mercedes के पास गाड़ी नहीं है, Mercedes का porpoising हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, और इसलिए Hamilton race नहीं जीत पा रहा.
Hamilton भी रो रहा था start में. Guys, I'd really prefer if he saved the engine.
If he
saved the engine, we wanted to retire the car.
Yeah, I'll come to that. But the same car, which has been so bad for Mercedes, Russell has been putting into the top 5 every race. Couple podiums already.
Yeah.
So what is the deal?
Couple of legal podiums, I'd say. I don't count Spa as a podium. I'm sorry.
अबे ये साल की बात कर रहा हूँ.
हाँ, okay, sorry. I thought overall.
This year.
They say he's had two P3, P3.
Yeah, he's had he's had two podium finishes, and the rest of them are all in
Top five.
the top five. So the guy is crazy. The car has been good since Hamilton can't drive it. It's not right for Hamilton. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, all of the others in the hybrid era, high turbo hybrid era, you had the car literally designed around your first driver, and then your second driver had to learn to adjust to it, which in fact Bottas did brilliantly. But and you can see that with Alfa Romeo, Bottas has that knack. He jumped into a completely new engine, completely new package, and he's had a point finish every race.
Yeah.
In that Alfa Romeo of a car, who until last season was not even competing for the top 15, to be fair. But this year, they have structured it around, I think, Russell's preferences and his driving style, which is fantastic to watch, man.
So you're saying they've structured it around George Russell, and Hamilton is having to cope and is not being able to cope.
That's what I think.
It's a big take there. Hot take. Please take somebody take this hot take.
Please, someone.
I'd love to throw it back at Arsh, because that's completely rubbish. You think Lewis will allow that to happen or what? With all the people back at Brackley.
Have you seen him perform recently? Apart from yesterday's race, I mean, the only reason
भाई तो डेवलपमेंट अभी थोड़ी होगा. डेवलपमेंट तो अगर पिछले साल से हो रहा है ना, तब वो सब लोग मतलब कितने खुश थे, एक दूसरे के दोस्त थे. लुइस बेयरली चैंपियनशिप हारा था, बट वो लोग कंस्ट्रक्टर्स चैंपियनशिप जीत चुके थे, और वो घड़ी सब लोग को थैंक कर रहा था. तो
Shetty put it on the chat saying, heard it here first, guys.
Absolutely. Maybe if this was a Twitch stream, I'd be like, clip that.
I mean, YouTube stream है, तो YouTube stream पे clip हो सकता है.
No, I don't think so. अपने चैनल पे नहीं.
अपने चैनल में हो सकता है. अपना, मैं अभी स्ट्रीम खोल के बैठा हूँ यहाँ पे. है.
Okay. Clip that, Arsh. Wouldn't you assume that Mercedes would create everything around Hamilton? That is what I am assuming.
You would assume.
There is Arsh, who is stating his opinions based on
personal opinion. Everyone is allowed to have a personal opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Arsh is stating his baseless and unfounded opinions for the sake of entertainment and for the betterment and furtherance of the number of subscribers to this YouTube channel.
इसका रील बनाते हैं. चल सृष्टि बना.
It is hereby stated that the views expressed by Arsh Malhotra are entirely his own, and Couch Pundits does not endorse any and all comments that he wishes to make about anything and everything.
No one's questioning Checo Deep. We're just actually analyzing the situation between Max and Checo. But yeah, we'll get to that later. But moving on to Russell and Hamilton, all jokes aside, no, guys, I genuinely do not think that Hamilton has to cope with the car. Hamilton has quite a bit of pull in Mercedes, guys. 7 championships जीत चुका है वो उसके साथ.
You weakling! You gave it up already. Level like 3 seconds.
अरे bro, चलता है. Yes, Arsh, go for it.
3 seconds you held your opinion, man. That's just... And your opposition is me. Literally, this one guy.
Jokes था.
हाँ, मतलब गाड़ी में problems तो थे. Mercedes, and they've had a fantastic weekend. They've overcome a lot of porpoising. Virtually non-existent at this point in time.
I think the only team struggling with it right now, Ferrari a little more.
Red Bull have figured it out. Mercedes seem to have figured it out.
Bro, नहीं तो Russell हमेशा हर रेस के बारे में बाद में बोलता था, bro, मेरा सिर बहुत दर्द कर रहा है.
हाँ, अभी भी बोला कि on some of the slow speed corners it is still there. But
नहीं, क्योंकि slow speed corners में नहीं होना चाहिए.
Exactly. But he said, I don't know if he said slow speed corners, but he definitely said corners पे हो रहा है अभी भी. थोड़ा.
Straight पे होना चाहिए porpoise.
Corners पे हो रहा है. तो क्या पता, maybe they're getting the grip in the corners, and that is
सही है.
doing it. Yeah, maybe we can get some tech guy to explain this to us next time.
But anyway, moving on to Mercedes, they had a just summing up the weekend overall, काफी सही weekend था उनके लिए. They had some pretty good performances, and even in FP3 and FP2 they were on top 3.
Yeah,
FP1, FP2, sorry, FP2, FP3 में मजा. They were killing
काफी
it.
मजा.
काफी.
और it is going to be exciting going forward. The next race is Monaco, which will suit the Mercedes car because lots of slow speed corners, and this track is not as setup oriented as Spain is, and it is more about the driver's skill.
Talent.
And speaking of driver's skill, there is one particular driver on this racetrack that has consistently crashed at Monaco, and he's the only Monegasque driver on this grid. And that
he crashed already this year.
He already has crashed this year in the vintage Formula
See, now this
car
is what
race.
You call skill. When there's no Formula 1 Grand Prix, you're crashing a Formula 1 car in Monaco. Like, bro.
For those who are not aware, there was this vintage car Monaco rally weekend sort of thing in the off weekend recently. And apna boy Charlie was there क्योंकि वो उधर का लड़का है. And he was driving, whose Ferrari was he driving?
Niki
Lauda's Ferrari. And guess what? He crashed it in Monaco.
In Raskas.
As usual. So...
he says that he's gotten it out of his system.
I mean, why is it in his system still? Why is it in his system?
Bro, सोच अगर वो Formula 1 में उसके पहले भी वो गाड़ी सिर्फ ऐसे ही स्ट्रीट पे Formula 1 रेस नहीं है ब्रो, वो ऐसे ही स्ट्रीट पे चला रहा है गाड़ी, लोग anyway हट जाते हैं, नहीं ये गाड़ी क्रैश करेगा भाई.
Will Leclerc crash in Monaco?
Oh, Shrishti is asking a very nice question in the chat. Also, is Latifi not into walls anymore? I mean, look, I don't know what his preferences are. To be fair, recently we found out Sainz is into gravels. I mean, to each their own. We don't judge on this stream unless they're your own opinion. Then we judge you heavily.
क्या?
लतीफी
तू ऐसा कुछ मैं मतलब ऐसा टाइपिंग करता है और ध्यान नहीं दे रहा तो कुछ भी मत बोलते जा.
नहीं ब्रो, तू पढ़ना. Shetty asked also, is Latifi not into walls anymore? I said, bro, हम judge नहीं करते what they're into. Like Sainz is into gravel traps, Latifi is into walls. We don't judge.
Interesting.
मुझे open करना चाहिए आके आज के लिए.
Yeah, another one of Arsh's bad jokes. We'll just chalk that down to the fact that it is 10 o'clock at night. And
yes.
Yeah.
Blame it on the time, bro. Not my fault.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's a good question.
Let's talk about your favorite team.
My favorite. Why are we supposed
McDonald's.
to? McDonald's में I was just happy DR out-qualified Lando. Okay. But still, even though Lando was not too well after the race,
ulti कर रहा था ना वो.
Before the race, he got a heat stroke. He was puking because of the heat. He couldn't speak after the race. Radio पे उसका literally dead silence था. And फिर भी वो P8 आया bro, या P9 आया, P8 आया I think.
But
वो कैसे?
Gotta hand it to the guy, which they did. They handed a lot of fluids to him.
Another bad joke, guys.
But what's DR's issue? What excuse does he have? Tell me that.
I've stopped saving the dude.
Like, at some point, we have to accept the fact that it's not working, right?
I've stopped saving him. हर stream पे हम यही बोलते हैं.
He's still very good. But does he deserve to be in the top 20 of the world? Is he good only because of experience?
He's got, what are we on the 6th race? He's got about 10 plus 6. He's got about another 16 races to prove himself.
You think that's it? No more extensions?
I don't see an extension coming anytime soon. But the problem is, who do they replace him?
अरे
replace him.
15 लोग खड़े हो जाएंगे यार, तू उसका चिंता मत कर, अपने पंटर लोग को भेज देंगे, तू
मैं
चिंता,
चला जाऊँ.
ड्राइवर तो बहुत है,
On loan
दैट्स नॉट द प्रॉब्लम.
from Red Bull, Jan Daruville.
We'll see all of that. But my question is this: it's not like he's going off the grid anytime soon.
Why do you say so?
I feel like if McLaren decides to not extend his contract, there will be at least one or two other teams who will be willing to, like.
कौन लेगा bro उसको? They have got pretty set driver lineups right now.
Bro, Williams ले लेगा.
Williams is looking at Nick DeVries instead of Latifi. But no, to be fair, Williams might take him because Nick DeVries has only one FP1 session under his belt and he's doing pretty well in Formula E.
Data collection के लिए, see, look at Alfa Romeo's strategy. Okay, young driver and Bottas. Look at Haas's strategy. Young driver and Magnussen. Alpha Tauri is obviously
also
not
same.
counted.
Kyun?
Because Gasly's experience versus K-Mag and Bottas is quite different.
Put it in relativity.
Gasly is still like Leclerc, Russell, Lando Norris batch. I don't put him as the experience. Yeah, definitely he is experienced, but
ठीक है, समझ गया.
So I'm talking about these not midfield, suddenly midfield Alfa Romeo, but you know
Mercedes
that lower
lineup,
midfield,
Mercedes lineup, Red Bull lineup.
Lower midfield teams will go for these kind of setups because if Williams can afford to part with Latifi's money and McLaren decides to not extend Daniel Ricciardo's contract, I don't see why Williams would not go for someone like Daniel Ricciardo. Good driver, ऐसा वो सस्ता सुंदर टिकाऊ type of driver, and will definitely increase their brand value because he is an icon of the sport thanks to Drive to Survive season 1.
Not only that, thanks to his personality, yaar.
Yeah, he's a very likable guy. Gasly to replace Daniel, yeah, that's another one. That's possible. And we suddenly find ourselves discussing potential future driver lineups as we do in every stream. I don't know how we get there.
We always get there by talking about McLaren, and if we have to talk about McLaren, we have to talk about Daniel Ricciardo, and if we have to talk about Daniel Ricciardo, we have to talk about his iffy future. So
we have to address it.
So then, wo ghum fir ke, I mean, unfortunately, that is the thing. But getting back to Spain, I don't know what went wrong with him this weekend. He had a pretty good starting position. He started P9 on the grid with Lando starting in P13.
P11, no Lando.
P13, he was out in Q2.
हाँ, but वो 11 पे out हुआ.
I think check करते हैं. Yes, you are right. P13 was Sonoda. My bad. हाँ, so P11.
वो 11 में था. He got into P10.
He got into P10 and then his lap time got deleted.
Exactly. Mick Schumacher got into Q3.
Schumacher got into Q3 with the Haas getting a double Q3. What do you call? Fucking hell, I forgot the word only in excitement. Appearance.
Yeah, and it was quite unfortunate for Mick, which we will get to, but please finish your point about
Doctor 3 ना bro, मैं भी हमेशा Doctor 3 बोलता हूँ ऐसे. तो Doctor 3 ना, I don't know what went wrong with him this weekend. He had a good qualifying. He got into P9. He was okay, fine. He was P10. He was on the chopping block. But even if there was no one else after him, he would have still gotten into Q3. Getting into Q3 would have given him a much better chance. He qualified P9. He started P9. He literally just stopped like everyone you could see him. UK Sonoda just opened DRS, overtook him in turn 1. You see Stroll open DRS, overtook him in turn 1. Alonso with the same. Lando with the same. It was like the same story being repeated again and again. Dhaval, are you hung or are you just like that? Oh, you're like that. Okay. So ऐसे ही बैठा था 30 सेकंड के लिए, तो मैंने बोला ये hung हो गया कि नहीं?
Intently listening to you.
Thanks, man. But yeah, I don't know what went wrong with him this game. But we got some pretty interesting questions in the chat. Will Latifi get a seat in any other team? Yeah. Any team that can afford him.
Any team will see. Latifi का क्या है ना, उसका एक अच्छा है, देखो, Latifi, one thing is good that every car that he crashes, he will bring a new car. He will only do it.
लवाजा
हाँ, he
लवाजा
will
पे
like मैं
करेगा.
400 करोड़ कॉफी और बेचेगा और तुम्हारे लिए एक गाड़ी लेके आएगा.
टेंशन क्यों ले रहा है ब्रो? हम पियेंगे तेरा कॉफी.
नहीं, मैं नहीं पिएगा लवाजा.
तो मैं कनाडा जाके पीता हूँ लवाजा.
वेरी बैड कॉफी.
टिम हॉर्टन्स मेनली, बट लवाजा जाके पी लेता हूँ ब्रो. लतीफी को स्पॉन्सर करना है थोड़ा.
Please stop drinking Lavazza coffee in Canada, Arsh. I feel like because of you only Hamilton lost the race last year. I understand. This guy. This
I
guy
bought
is
that
going
one
and
coffee.
buying Lavazza coffee, which is ensuring that Latifi continues in the sport.
Correct.
And this was your mastermind plan all along.
Exactly. तू पकड़ गया. तू पकड़ लिया bro. कैसे बोलूं? But Gunther Steiner is a very happy man this season. Yes, he is. He's extremely happy. He's above 2 teams in the constructors, which is very good to see. And also,
he's not last.
That's
he's
all he
got
cares
points.
About. That's all he cares.
Got points.
Like even if the season ends this minute, he'll be like, "Chalega, bro." Like मुझे 15 point मैं खुश हूँ. Can Bottas get to a better team, probably replacing Daniel? That's an interesting question. Dhaval, what do you have to say?
No, I don't think Bottas wants to do that. Bottas is happy where he is.
Correct, dude.
Actually, no, I want to change that answer. Bottas going to McLaren would be weird, but would it make sense? Because still a Mercedes
it would make
team.
sense. It would make sense.
They're using a Mercedes engine, so there will still be connections.
I think the only thing that's left for Daniel to drive on the grid is a Ferrari car. उसने सब चला लिया है bro. उसने Red Bull चला लिया है, उसने Renault चला लिया है, उसने Mercedes चला लिया है, अब बस Ferrari बाकी है.
Okay, coming back. McLaren's weekend, how do you rate it out of 10, Arsh? Overall,
4 on 10.
4 on 10?
Yeah.
Is it because Lando Norris is 4?
That's the only reason they got 4 points.
Indeed. Moving on. Next, we go to the championship contenders, Ferrari. I want to talk about their second driver, Carlos Sainz. Home race for this guy.
Decent race though.
Okay, look, Sainz went into this race with a lot of pressure on him.
Correct.
Because
he had a chance to win.
In the last 3 or 4 races, he's been crashing out. 2 or 3 races. 3 races he's been crashing out.
3 races he's hit the gravel after qualifying P2, P3.
Yeah. So he's going to be feeling like it's right there. It's like, I have podiums within my control and I'm the one, like sometimes 2 out of 3 times it was his fault.
Correct.
Once it was not his fault. It was unfortunate.
Doctor.
And doctor went and apologized to him also later. And then doctor went on the morning show or some show and said, I hated every second of that apology, but you got to do what you got to do.
He went to Trevor Noah.
वही ना,
late night show.
Whatever. Some show
daily show था, but लेकिन late night में होता है.
हाँ. तो Sainz was going into this weekend under a lot of pressure, generally because his teammate was so far ahead of him in the Drivers' Championship that it was quite lopsided. And as we all know, your biggest competition on the grid is your teammate because they are driving more or less the same car as you.
So setup थोड़ा अलग होगा तेरे लिए बस.
So it's like a very real measure of how good or bad a driver you are, or at least that is a perception that is created. Which is,
but to be fair, Carlos Sainz is a very adapting driver, bro. तू Renault के days, like तू forget Renault, Toro Rosso के days से देगा 2015 से. उसने Toro Rosso में perform किया as per the car. उसने Renault में perform किया as per the car. McLaren shift हुआ, adjusted without an issue. Ferrari shift हुआ, adjusted without an issue. कैसे करता है bro तू इतना?
वो मस्त आदमी है इसलिए करता है. But the point here is Sainz into his home race under so much pressure gets a good qualifying. Lap 7 or lap 8 spins out into the gravel. and yeah,
नहीं
man,
lap 7 पे ही किया होगा.
lap 7 because lap 9 Verstappen did it. So
Did,
Sainz happened 1 or 2 laps before that.
correct.
And it was quite sad in that moment because it looked like it had happened again. Fortunately for him, this time the car made it out of the gravel. It was not beached.
And he had a pretty decent recovery.
He had a pretty mad recovery, यार. Not
Like
like Lewis
decent to just
Hamilton के
put it.
रोने लग गया कि अरे यार खत्म हो गया रेस मेरे को नहीं करने का है.
He's
He was
like,
like
come on,
नहीं मैं करेगा.
boys, मैं करूंगा. और P5, bloody.
P4.
P5 was Lewis, sorry.
Yeah. He gave him P5.
He gave P5.
Yeah.
Correct.
So ultimately, overall, Ferrari के लिए, I would say, obviously not a good weekend, but good signs that Sainz is getting into a better headspace.
I see what you did there. तूने by mistake किया ना?
क्या?
Good signs.
Good signs for Ferrari.
Good signs, but
if
not good.
K-Man didn't crash into Lewis, possible podium for Hamilton. यार ये तो मैं भी बोल रहा था दानिश.
Possible win if Verstappen, because you could see Russell was keeping up with the pace of Verstappen, man.
यार,
so
Hamilton made up 1 minute. He was 1 minute behind the race leader.
Correct.
He nearly made it up. He was off 10 seconds off by the end of the race.
Yeah, he made almost a second a lap.
Yeah. In some 58 laps.
66 laps.
Oh, first lap only. Yeah, sorry. 66 laps. He made up a minute.
So nearly. Almost a minute, almost a second a lap, which is crazy.
So if he was again, 1 second a lap faster than the race
leader. Yeah.
You can only imagine what he would have done
at the start
if he was the race leader himself.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mercedes faced certain issues towards the end, which is why he could not fight for 4th place.
They were facing cooling issues from the start, which is why Russell had to even back off. He had to shift gears quickly. He had to coast regularly, and that was causing a lot of issues for him to fight with Verstappen. But chalega. They did a pretty decent job with the. I mean, can you blame them with cooling issues? Have you seen that car? That car is thinner than me. Like it's like this. कहाँ cool होगा तेरा engine? Like literally लोग फू मार रहे हैं. End में, but sorry Shetty, but thank you for letting me know. मुझे like I realized that, but I didn't know अगर stream पे आ रही है. Anyway. But at this point, is McLaren better than Alfa Romeo? Good question. You are a good question. Your question hurt me. No. That's why I'm saying your question hurt me.
It's not.
Danish. See, the thing is, Alfa Romeo, they have been. I can only speak for Bottas because unfortunately, so Guan Yu has been having. एक तो उसका नाम मुझे समझ में नहीं आता. Guan Yu जो है कि Zhou Guan Yu. तुम लोग पहले decide करो.
Zhou Guan Yu. He has requested that he be called Zhou Guan Yu.
चल सही है. पहले decide करो. Anyway, getting to it, being a McLaren supporter, I'm going to be a bit biased in this, but Alfa Romeo has a great package. You can see that in the race as well.
And you can also see that from Bottas's
driving.
What?
From his Instagram profile, you can see Alfa Romeo has got a great package. उसका picture देखा कि नहीं?
हाँ, वो बेच रहा है ना?
क्या? अपने peach को?
हाँ.
For charity. But getting to this, I think Bottas has Alfa Romeo has मैं Bottas बोल रहा हूँ. Bottas has a great package तेरे वजह से Dhaval. But getting to the Alfa Romeo, I think I have a great package. I think Zhou has only been unfortunate with MGUK issues, with power issues, with brake failures and stuff. But because they are testing a lot of stuff on Zhou's car before they implemented onto both us, which makes sense because they can, afford to play around with Joska because he's not really getting points for them right now. Whereas Bottas is a more experienced driver. This is his first season, which is again understandable. So I think right now, speaking to answer your question, because I talk a lot, Danish, I think yes, Alfa Romeo is at a much better position.
They are a better car, dude. That's it. Bottom line.
They are not much. Shetty's got a good question in the chat.
What is your take on the Bottas picture in the stream? Would you buy it? I will answer that question immediately after I tell you. McLaren's inconsistency is their problem. Alfa Romeo already have an advantage with the Ferrari power unit.
Correct.
And Ferrari engine and power unit. So they are already faster, and McLaren are still just not getting their car right. I think their car is there, the setups are not right. That's what's happening. So, and their drivers are just, I don't know what they're doing, man. कभी
लोग memes बना रहे हैं bro जेम्स कॉर्डन के साथ.
हाँ.
बैठ गए.
वो लोग वो लैंडो है ना, बहुत पार्टी करता है, ये उसका प्रॉब्लम है.
लैंडो बहुत पार्टी करता है एंड DR3 पार्टी के लिए वाइन सप्लाई करता है. तो उनका चल रहा है मस्त बिजनेस साइड में.
Russell versus Sainz, who wins in the same car? Man, both are really good drivers. You're just having some recency bias because Sainz is not in a good headspace.
Headspace right now, यार. आने दे उसको. हमने DR को एक पूरा सीजन दिया है, bro. हम साइंस को 3 रेस नहीं दे सकते क्या?
सॉरी, हम लोग ने डैनियल रिकार्डो को अभी 6 सीजन हो गया. 6 नहीं, 2000 when did he leave Red Bull? 2019.
18 was the last season.
18 was the last season. 19, 20, 21. 3 सीजन दिया उसको.
करेक्ट.
तो उसको 4 दे दे. तू बोलता है तो ले ले तू 4. ओके. बट उसके बाद क्या?
You've seen that meme, no, of that guy looking at a stick saying, "Come on, do something."
Yeah. But getting back to Danish's question, Russell versus Sainz, who wins in the same car? I would still say Russell. Yeah. But if you say Russell versus Charles,
I'd have to say Leclerc. But also, to be fair, they didn't compete in the same F2 season. At the same time, I mean, Leclerc graduated in F1 in 2018. Russell won it on his first try, I think.
Yeah.
So in 2018, so there. Anyway, I have a very interesting point which I can't believe we haven't brought up yet. There's 2 new Red Bulls in the paddock.
Lime green Red Bulls. Interestingly, Arsh, why don't you give us like a brief of the whole thing quickly?
Okay, so just a quick thing. Aston Martin brought like not amazing. They clearly didn't perform. Got a lot of upgrades to Spain this weekend. The side pods and the cooling systems looked very, very similar to Red Bull's. Even their aerodynamic package, which was on their side view mirrors and the rear view mirror hota nahi F1 gaadi mein, but side view mirrors and their side pods and their floor was very similar to Red Bull's. Red Bull protested that to the FIA. FIA deemed it to be legal, and then Red Bull started memeing them by drinking green Red Bull in the paddock and tweeted. If anyone follows WTF1 or Twitter, any F1 banter. Guys, if you guys do not follow F1 banter on Twitter, I highly recommend getting on Twitter just for F1. मैंने एक पूरा पेज बनाया है literally बस F1 memes डालने के लिए, and मैं literally सिर्फ F1 memes को follow करता हूँ Twitter पे, so I'll have to follow. But beach of in the middle of qualifying, उन्होंने मस्त एक डाला था कि does anyone fancy a green Red Bull? Like Red Bull ने ट्वीट किया था, मस्त ट्वीट था, बहुत मजा आया.
Yeah. So basically, Aston Martin copied their car, but the FIA said you have not copied. These are original ideas that you had before the season started. These were not. In fact, some of the Red Bull's engineers left and went to Aston Martin last week, and this week they come up with this car. So, I mean, I mean, तुम लोग को क्या लगता है ये झोल सब इंडिया में ही होता है?
देख मैं इसलिए ग्रीन
White
पहन रहा हूँ
people are
आज.
as jholly as anybody. And
Shrishti, yes, I will post more of my Twitter content on Instagram. Mainly my Twitter content is live during the race. तो मैं gifs डालता हूँ during the race कि रेस में क्या हो रहा है like.
okay, um,
और
any
क्या
other
बाकी है?
team worth mentioning? Haas doing well.
Alpine, dude, they've been the surprise package this season.
Alpine, I am just really disappointed, like because they have so much potential, and for some reason everybody else just overshadows them. I think Alpine could have had such better performances if it were not for some unfortunate moments for Fernando or for anybody else. But
I mean 11 पोजीशन एक रेस में at the age of 41 42 क्या कर रहे हो?
age is just a number, man. Age is just a number.
Bro, there's a great question in the chat, and I think this will be a couple of our last questions before we wrap. Given that Porsche and Audi are coming into F1, there are rumors that Aston Martin makes way for one. Which is the other team that goes away? I think there will be 11 teams in F1. To sum it
Yeah,
up. If Aston
that's
Martin
true.
leaves, dude, you know, एक अच्छा Aston Martin से याद आया, sorry, but do you remember when Red Bull Racing used to be actually called Aston Martin Red Bull Racing?
Yeah.
They took it too literally, bro.
And this is also Lawrence Stroll's modus operandi. When
Yeah,
he
वही
was
वही
Racing
करता है.
Point, तभी उसने पिंक मर्सिडीज डाला था ट्रैक पे. अभी ग्रीन रेड बुल डाल दिया है ट्रैक पे.
He
वो
found
ऐसा
a
पहले कर चुका है.
bro. He's like the new Vijay Mallya, but legal.
I mean, legal until you're caught.
देखो, guilty until
You're
proven.
only
You're
a
innocent until
thief.
proven guilty.
You're
Okay,
only a thief if you're caught, Arsh. Always remember that.
correct. I thought you're just taking stuff. But Shishti, I don't think so, McLaren. Shishti, I don't think McLaren will exit because McLaren have now started entering Formula E also, and they're a heredity. Three teams that will not exit at least very recently are going to be Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, and McLaren. Sorry,
Williams.
Williams, Alfa Romeo, McLaren, and Ferrari. These are the four teams that are not going to go away for a very long time. They've been there since the 1950s. I mean, Williams came in the 70s, but they've got a rich history.
Sir Frank.
They are doubted. They'll probably change their name if they want to, but I doubt they'll leave.
They will not leave.
They'll not leave. But yeah, I think there'll be 11 teams. Can Daniel, bro, Danish to बहुत सवाल पूछ रहा है यार. Can Daniel survive till the 11 team season? Can Daniel survive till the 11 team season? Can you please rephrase your question?
जब Audi Porsche आएगा
The
तभी
11
Daniel
team
रहेगा.
season.
3 साल
Oh,
के बाद आ रहे ना वो लोग. 2 या 3 साल के बाद आ रहे.
2026.
5 साल के बाद आ रहे.
Correct.
तो no. Unless he wins the drivers championship before that.
Survive
In
or
fact,
figure it out.
then I would definitely say he doesn't make it. क्योंकि if he wins the drivers championship, he's out. He'll be like हो गया. अभी मैं और वाइन बेचेगा.
Bro, उसका वाइन बिजनेस सही चल रहा है यार. उसके रैंच वैंच है ऑस्ट्रेलिया में. उसका वाइन जूते में बिकता है. और क्या चाहिए जिंदगी से?
जूते का decanter. Okay, before we wrap the stream, what are the things to look forward to for the next race, if we can even call it that? According to me, it is Saturday. Saturday is going to determine everything about this race.
Unless
Almost
the safety
everything.
cars.
Unless there are, unless there are crashes. Should Alonso retire? No, Shrishti. He should do what he wants to do.
He's looking for a
Kimi
third
Raikkonen.
world championship, bro. Alonso said he's like, I'm looking for a third world championship if I've given an opportunity. क्या retire की बात कर रही है, bro?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. दो season, ये season next season तो है ही. उसके
Guaranteed.
बाद
Also, can we do? हाँ, आएंगे ना शष्टी, उसी पे आ रहे हैं अभी.
Yeah, so looking ahead to Monaco, I firmly believe that qualifying is going to play as it has always done, a very, very important part in the race. Barring crashing, severe crashing, the qualifying result will imitate the race result. The race result will imitate the qualifying result. So yeah, because
How
there is
many
no space. These
crashes?
cars are way too wide. There's no space to overtake at Monaco.
और
The road is not big enough.
एक तो anyway रेड फरारी की गाड़ी ऐसे चलती है.
तो या नहीं होने वाला है.
कितने क्रैश प्रेडिक्ट करता है तू मोनाको में?
This guy is going to crash Leclerc.
100%.
He's going to take 3 cars with him. And बाकी तो even our poll has come out that Monaco crash होने वाला है. Monaco crash for the Monegasque. Okay, anything else remaining?
नहीं bro, मैं अपना predictions बताता हूँ.
Please.
I think it's going to be a Russell 1, Checo 2, and Verstappen 3. So it's going to be first Russell, Checo second, Verstappen third.
That can never happen because Verstappen will be
हो जाएगा bro.
told to go ahead of
हो जाएगा,
Checo,
हो
and
जाएगा.
Checo will be like, "ये गलत है."
Actually, no,
We
I'm
need
going to
speak
change.
later.
I'm going to change. It's like the new Toto, this is so not right. It's like the new we need to speak later. But I'm going to change it to Russell, Hamilton, if he call it. No, actually he's Russell, Verstappen, Sainz. Go for it.
I'm
What's
going to
yours?
say Mercedes 2 podiums and Red Bull 1. If I had to guess the order, it would be Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton.
Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton. Okay. You guys heard it here first.
Yeah.
Whichever comes
I hope somebody has noted it down and will throw it in our faces when we are wrong. Danish Modi, Hamilton podium. I am also expecting a Hamilton podium. It is about time.
I was also, but I doubt it. It's gonna come. It'll come in Baku, I feel. Baku's after that, no? Baku and Canada. Double header. Hey Canada bro, मस्त.
तू जाने वाला है ना?
नहीं bro, मैं इधर ही जाने वाला था. मैं फ्लाइट पोस्टपोन कर दिया, तो मैंने 3 टिकट्स बेच दिए. मैंने ग्रैंड प्री की टिकट बेची, मैंने अरिजीत सिंह की टिकट बेची, और फिर मैंने आतिफ असलम की टिकट बेची.
If anyone needs tickets,
मैंने बेच दी. Anyways guys, that's it from me.
And that's it from us here at Couch Pundits. If you guys enjoyed the stream, please consider subscribing to the channel for more such content. Speaking of more such content, we have a very exciting interview lined up with the CEO of IR Esports. They're doing great work in the esports frame of things. And the guy, Saurav, he also trains drivers for karting and other forms of motor racing. So we've had a great conversation with him. That video should be coming out this week. Arsh? Arsh, it will come out this week, no?
Yeah, bro. Just been busy, guys. Really sorry. Been really busy, Sorry, कर दूंगा.
Arsh, it'll take you 3 seconds to do what you need to do.
आज ही कर दूंगा.
And
stream के बाद करता हूँ.
So that video will come out this week. There is the race happening this week. We will be screening it 99% at a venue in Bombay. So if you guys are not
6:30 p.m.
If you guys want to find out more details about that, you can follow us on Instagram. The thing is in the description below. Shrishti, there you go. She's just brought it up. Thank you. The screening thing will be happening. For confirmation, watch our Instagram stories and posts. We will be putting it up over there. It's a free screening, guys. It's happening in Bombay. You just have to come, chill, hang out, get to watch the thing in a bar. You get deals on your drinks and stuff. It's great. And it's a nice atmosphere watching Formula One with other people who like watching Formula One. And Arsh will be there. I will be there. At least I will be there. I don't know about this.
I'll be there.
And some other people from the chat will also be there. It's like a nice community, man. You guys should come.
Bro, बैंड्रा में ही होगा. मैं बैंड्रा में हैबिटेट में हूँ ना कल संडे को 6 बजे तक. तो मस्त है. मैं आ जाऊंगा सीधा.
Please don't give out your personal information and location like this, Arsh. You don't know what kind of creeps are watching us.
Guys, if there's anyone that's actually interested in me, आके मिल लो यार. मुझे दोस्तों की बहुत जरूरत है.
That's it from us, guys.
No, but before we go, if you guys like poetry, I'm doing a show tomorrow in Bandra as well. I'm hosting it at Adagio. It's going to be a fun thing. I do comedy, I do poetry, I do both of them. So please come if you guys are free.
Yeah. Also, Danish, we do not do F1 Fantasy League, but Arsh plays it. So maybe Arsh can like set up something.
I do play
for
F1
us.
Fantasy.
Maybe we'll take that into consideration, man. Maybe next week we'll have a league for Couch Pundits for F1 Fantasy, and we'll see how
Thank
that
you,
goes.
Shetty, by the way. Promotion on point.
Okay, bye now. Chalo. Thank you everyone who tuned in. Thank you, Shrishti. She's a fantastic moderator, and we will be back next week for the post Monaco review stream, which will be this same day next week. Yeah, same day next week, or maybe we'll do it on a Monday. Instagram link is in the description. Danish, you can follow us there. If you want anything from us, feel free to ask, and we'll give you several reasons of why we cannot give you what you asked for. On that note, yeah, bye-bye, guys.
Yeah.
That's it. Done.